Okay. My name is Patricia. I was born in Germany many moons ago, and I migrated to Canada in 1993. So I have been in Canada for almost 30 years now, and have never regretted my decision to move so far away from home. It was a great opportunity, and this also on my professional career gave me the opportunity to join the Commonwealth of Learning at the time, for whom I've been with for 21 years and 7 months. I recently retired and from the Commonwealth of Learning, and so I was invited here today, I guess, under the umbrella still over me, sharing a little bit about Canada, so you get the opportunity to learn about other countries.
It's
Can't move, so I will
I can do
indicate.
it. I can do it because
Yeah,
it's
yeah. Well, you will have to. Yeah. Okay. So now, can you go back to the first slide, please?
yes, yes.
So the picture you see here is the city that I live in. It's Vancouver, Canada. And it's in the far west of Canada, alongside the Pacific Ocean. You know, Canada is surrounded by many waters, but on the west side it is the Pacific, and on the east side it's the Atlantic. Next slide, please.
Yes.
Stop. Little lower. Yeah, thank you. Um, uh, um, Canada consists of provinces and territories. So we have 10 provinces and 3 territories. And the territories are Northwest Territories, which is to the left in the light blue, Nunavut, which is right beside it, and Yukon Territory also up north in the west side above Nunavut. Next slide, please. Oh, hang on. So, okay. Um, Thank you. That's great. Um, of the 10 provinces, only 3 have a population of under 1 million people. Prince Edward, which is, on the map you see here to the right, you see an island that is red, colored in red color. That is Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. And those are the smallest places in Canada. Most people live in a handful of large cities in close proximity to the US border. So as you can see here, all the provinces that are so colorful illustrated here are along the US borders, except in the north, Alaska is a US province and borders Canada in the north. So the next slide, please. There is a lot to be said about the Canadian flag. I've put the link to the history of the flag because it's just too long to bring it up here. Yeah. It is called the Canadian flag of Canada, or maple leaf flag. Maple leaf is a tree, and as you can see in the middle of the flag, you have the maple leaf, which is indicative on our flag. Can you go back, please? Yeah. Next slide, please. You have many states bordering Canada, US states, and here I listed all those that are in question, like Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. What you might not know is that there is a no-touch zone between the two countries because the border is not a strict line from east to west. They have actually created a gap between the two countries in the wilderness with many starting and end points. And I think there's over 900, if I'm not mistaken. And so nobody can claim territories that are in between these two countries. And still there are a few countries, a few dispute questions. Hopefully nothing serious. So far they have tolerated it. For example, an island in the St. Lawrence stream, which is in Quebec, and other places. Next slide, please. Canada has the longest highway in the world, the Trans-Canada Highway, and it covers an astonishing 4,860 miles. And also Canada holds 20% of the world's fresh water. Around 2 million lakes Canada has, and that is more than any other country in the world. And going with the 20% world fresh water, that fits nicely. It can get very cold in the north. The lowest temperature ever recorded was minus 81.4 Fahrenheit or minus 63 Celsius. That is very cold. I know from people that I have talked to, like for example in Winnipeg. Winnipeg is in the flatlands, in the prairies, and in the prairies it gets extremely cold. So they have a drip coming out of their nose for sniffles. It will freeze right on the nose. So they have to cover themselves up pretty bad. In British Columbia, where I am in the West, it doesn't used to get very cold. But with the climate change, lately we've had a cold season in winter, but also the extreme of 50 degrees summer temperatures, which we have never had before. So this is all coming with the climate change. Hang on, can you go up again? I wasn't finished. A little bit up. Yeah, thank you. Also, the biggest city in Canada is Toronto, which is part of Ontario's province, and the longest coastline in the world Canada has. So next slide, please. Thank you. Canada's capital is Ottawa. Ottawa is in the province of Ontario. And here you have a picture of the Parliament building where the government is and right at the Ottawa River. Next slide, please. Okay. Canada is bilingual, English and French, but the only French-speaking province is Quebec. Everybody else speaks English. Quebec City is the oldest city in Canada. Montreal is Quebec's provincial capital. Every province has a capital. For British Columbia, where I am, it is Victoria on Vancouver Island. But for Quebec, it is Montreal. Next slide. Next slide, please. And there's 4 other large lakes, even larger lakes, bordering in the United States, and they're listed here. It's Lake Erie and Lake Michigan and the other 2. Next slide, please. Yeah. Of course, Canada has many animals that are nowhere else to be found except for orca. And here no, that's actually not true what I just said. So it is populated by moose and bald eagles, and as well the brown, black, and polar bears, as well as the orcas on both sides of the ocean. Next slide, please. Canada's head of state is Her Royal Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. And she is leading the country in spirit, and is actually from the United Kingdom. The Commonwealth is an association of countries across the world, although historically they belonged formerly to the British Empire. And there are 54 countries in total in the Commonwealth, and the Queen heads it up. But the Queen is represented in Canada by the Lieutenant Governor. And here you see, can you move up the slide a little bit? And here you can see Mary Jeannie Simon. She is the first Inuit in this position, also indigenous. And she is in the job since 2021. So Canada formally is a constitutional monarchy because we are headed by the Queen. And this concludes.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Saina Gastri.
Nice to meet you.
I'm proudly delighted to take an opportunity to interact with you. Ma'am, I would like to pose a question. Can I pose?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
How many provinces of Canada are inhabited?
Inhabited only 80% in total. So most people live close to the border, and in cities around 1 million or 2. But 80% of Canada's landmass is not populated. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Next participant.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Yes.
Ma'am, how are you, ma'am?
Nice to meet you.
Ma'am, I am so blessed and honored to interact with you, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Tejasvi Fazai from Jaipur, Bendapudi. Ma'am, I want to ask a question. You have just said the national bird is goose. Is that true, ma'am?
The national bird?
Yes, ma'am.
No, it's not the national bird. The Canadian mascot is the beaver, but what you are referring to is the eagle, and the eagle is very widely spread here.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Once I happened to hear that, ma'am, Canadian geese fly in a V formation. Is that true, ma'am?
In a V formation, absolutely, but not the bald eagle. They live with their life partner, so they choose a female, and they don't live in many in a big flock of birds. Contrary to what you are referring to, like for example the Canada geese, the Canada geese travel in flocks, and you see them all around the country flying overhead you.
Okay, Shruti, over to you. Thank you, Tejaswini, for your question.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Firstly, I would like to thank you for giving me this golden opportunity, and it is my pleasure to introduce myself. Myself, Shruti. I have completed 7th grade. I am 12 years old. I am from India. May I pose you a question?
Absolutely.
How many US states share a border with Canada?
How many US states? I think there are 13. And if you go back to the presentation, maybe Hari will share that with you later. You will see them named. They're all along the south of our country, along the a long border of 5,500 miles.
Okay. Next side, Nagalakshmi.
Yes, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
This is Nagalakshmi I have completed my 8th grade. My hobbies are reading books and playing games. My long-term goal is to become an English teacher.
Yeah, congratulations.
Can I ask one question, ma'am?
Absolutely.
What is the largest lake entirely in Canada?
The largest lake in Canada is the Great Bear Lake, and it's in the north, in the Northwest Territories.
Okay, thank you. And any more questions from Bendapudi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please turn your camera on so that we can see you.
Okay. Hi, ma'am. I'm so blessed and honored to have you such a beautiful interaction with you, ma'am. I want to ask you a question, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Is there any difference in the accent of Canada and United States? I mean, what significant difference do we find in accent of Canada and US, ma'am?
And what?
What significant difference do we find in the accent of Canada and United States, ma'am? Is there any difference in the accent?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Every country, of course, has their own little accent, and depending on where you come from, it's slightly influenced by a dialect. Just like in India, you have over 500 dialects, and you can tell by the dialect where people are from. And in Canada, it's not any different. There are some commonalities, which identifies a Canadian to somebody from outside, and it's a colloquial approach mostly, which makes the difference. The language is more or less the same. It's not the same when you compare it to the United Kingdom, to the UK, because their vocabulary is a little different. For example, it's English as well, but it's a little different, such as, for example, they say waste basket and we say garbage bin. So it means the same thing, but it depends on where you're from, and this is how you recognize it.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
What is the official language of Canada?
The official language of Canada
Yes.
is
Yes, ma'am.
English and French, but the only province in Canada who speaks French, is Quebec. Everybody else speaks English.
Okay.
Madam, may
Thank
I
you, ma'am.
ask, madam?
Yes, go ahead.
Madam, I heard a lot about maple leaf. That is in the flag. Maple leaf.
Maple leaves, yeah, okay.
Could you
Yeah,
explain?
maple leaf is the leaf that is on the Canadian flag.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Could you please describe, ma'am? Could you please say some interesting facts on the maple leaf?
Talk about the maple leaf.
Yes, ma'am.
I left. There was too much to say right now because we don't have a lot of time left.
Yes, yes.
But Hari will share with you a YouTube link that will lead you to a site that gives you all the information about the leaf and how it came about.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Patricia.
ma'am.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for your valuable time. I know that it's a time for you to take rest for the day. So I actually am so blessed to have you as our guest, and
Likewise.
you took your own time and you took your time to answer the
My
questions
pleasure.
posed by the questions. So
My
I'm so
pleasure.
thankful to you, and I'm also thankful to the students, to the Bendapudi, for joining the today's session.
Well,
And
very nice to meet you all.
yes, yes,
It's my honor. It's our honor, sir.
It's our pleasure, sir.
yeah, and you are most welcome to join some other sessions. And let us be thankful to our guest teacher. All of you, please turn your cameras on and say bye to our guest teacher.
Okay, bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am. It is such a wonderful interaction with you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you. Very nice of you.